Welcome back to another review and feedback game. We're going to go ahead and do most people's favorite matchup, the Zerg versus Terran matchup. This is at the low end of Diamond at 3k MMR and an unranked with LbozoRatio and Wreckursive. Obviously, Wreckursive in red is the Zerg, and I'm going to just call them Ratio in blue as the Terran. As you can see from the screens that we're looking at here, there is some supply blocking. Based off of that, I would imagine that there's going to be some roaches. But I don't want to talk too much about what we don't know. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and jump right on into the replay and talk about the good, bad, and, of course, the gameplay that happens. I'm a little thirsty tonight, so I'm going to have a Red Bull or a little bit thirsty today. A little bit cheery up just to make it so we're feeling okay. So sorry about that. So in the upper right hand corner, we have the Zerg in red as Wreckursive, or Wreckursive more specifically. In the lower left hand corner, we have as blue Ratio in the Terran skin. Both players opening up as one would expect. Nothing crazy, nothing too odd. This is very standard for both players. We're going to speed it up a little bit. This is a medium length game about... So we'll see some maybe late game stuff, maybe not so late game stuff. It might be just an extended mid game, but nothing too odd here. I see everything that I would do, other than this weird rally with the workers. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Not a bad choice, but I don't know how I feel about it. It's totally standard both sides. Nothing too crazy. We should see a Reaper coming out. We should see an orbital go up immediately. That is this case. We have a drone harassing, which is not normal, which is actually kind of cool. This is a very Protoss style decision making, and I do not disagree with it. Oh god, this is absolutely a Protoss player that is a Zerg. They are doing some really amusing, annoying things. They're about to get their speed. They have enough lings. But blocking that extractor doesn't actually slow down the Terran all that much because you could just simply grab it on your nat. This is a weird SCV. It did mess up the Terran's build and what they decided to do. They're going to do a 1-1-1. Grab a bunker, which I don't know if I agree with. He needs to lift this and land it. Come on, lift and land. Decides not to. Didn't grab the Reaper. Grabbed a Marine instead. Doesn't have the bunker yet. Oh my goodness. Closes up. There's the Reaper. Hellion cleaned up. The Reaper on the other side of the map got several kills. Good job holding. So we would now need to worry about roaches as a Terran player. You just kind of got to be aware of them. He did have his Reaper on the other side of the map, so we had a good idea of what was going on. I would send a Marine back and kill that block. Make sure we don't get supply blocked. So because this is a... unorthodox game with the fact that we had a drone block going into an extractor to slow down the expansion. I could see why we have some interesting stuff. Nope. I understand what you're trying to do, and it's really cute, but that's not something you want to be doing at this level. You're not quite at that skill level. I wouldn't be pushing that too hard as a Terran until you're closer to a GM or you know exactly where it is, which... there is a ratio, right? If you're Zerg, you know what your vision looks like. It's like, you could see, right? If I put it at the top of the screen, it's like maybe at 2/3 of the screen is one creep tumor. But yeah, kill that extractor. Don't give them any more information. Where's a Marine? I do like this to slow this down. Oh no, hold position. Gonna lose army. No! That spine crawler has 4 kills. That's fun. You can see the Terran is powering up, getting 4 racks, is getting his appropriate upgrades. The Zerg, you could tell this is not their main race, is grabbing, has not spent their money very effectively, has a roach but no speed, hasn't gotten hydras, weird positionings for the spore crawlers, doesn't have, this is actually, I love it, this is so cute. This is somebody that is clearly just trying to figure it out. Terran building bunkers all over the place, doesn't have them saturated. Really annoying. If you're that worried, put a tank, and then build a wall around the tank with supply depots. So like you put a tank here, 1, 2, 3 supply depots, 4 supply depots, and now you have a protected tank. And the problem is you don't need that bunker. I like how this extractor is still here, getting full information on all of these barracks going up. So you've telegraphed to your opponent, hey, I'm going bio. Hey, heads up, be aware. They immediately build a baneling nest in response. That's what I would do. They're grabbing their 4th. You already had your 4th almost done. And they obviously haven't been able to really, truly mine from this base quite yet. This that hero stalker or spine crawler finally goes down. Oh my gosh, that's you don't want to fight into that unless you have the army to do it. And you don't want to have your weak stuff. Oh goodness, what is this? No, they're on the wrong side of the wall. I guess the queen's got it. Okay, that's fine. As a Terran, another dropship goes down. As a Terran, you need to make sure that your Marines do not, or your medevacs do not fight. Ooh, do not fight on top of the. Ooh, that's good. That's good. You made them lose another wing and stuff. Still not dead. You need to make sure that you don't have your medevacs on top of spore crawlers unless you're focusing them down, because you're going to lose those medevacs pretty fast. There it is. Eventually he's going to go back. Whew. The spy is finally getting it. It's getting taken out. Oh my goodness. It took forever. We are in 11 minutes into the game, and that was put down at like 2 minutes. That's crazy. Also, this is not their biggest income. Also, Zerg needs another base at this point. Or needs another base at this point. This base is kind of irrelevant, but we're looking at a 4-base Terran against a 4-base Zerg. The Zerg is always going to be behind. You need to be as a Zerg a base up. Obviously, we're talking about the fact that the Zerg earlier, that they were playing off-race. Or at least it appears to be an off-race. Ooh, Terran throwing units into the void. No! Like this, so rough. So I'm going to slow down a little bit because we've been going very, very fast. So things to note. Zerg should be at least 1 base ahead of a Terran at all times. The exception being if you're doing like a 2-base all-in, like a 2-base mutaplay. Okay. I like this one single Marine taking out this hatchery because he's the only one that can reach. Banelings? Yes. Zerg is very much a I'm going to trade out my units race. Like, you're going to... your stuff is going to be thrown at your opponent often. And it's going to die. You expect it to die. As a Terran, your units are very fragile, but you don't want them to die. So, instead of continuing to do drops, just do run-ups, right? Take the 2 medevacs and 16 Marines and have them run up on this base. Have 16 Marines and run at this base. Run at this base. You don't need to do drops anymore. The drops are just for pickups at that point, right? So as a Terran, this is something that I've learned. Once you hit like the 3rd drop, unless your drops are absolutely brutalizing your opponent and they can't deal with it, and you just need to like resupply the units that are already doing stuff, which means the game should be ending shortly, you should stop dropping. You should have the units run at the bases, and then you run away. Ooh, Lurker, I like this play. Then you put a Sport. Oh, put it right there. But this is a good play. I like this idea. Because he needs income, he needs to protect it, all that kind of stuff. Things to note. Both players are doing a terrible job of spending their resources. Terran having 1... Oh my gosh, that is 9 ghosts going down at the same time. Holy cow. Never mind, that was a save up. I totally get that. Having 1 Raven with your army, yes, it's annoying. Instead of having it in the army group, what you do is you set it against the medevac, one of the medevacs in the back, and you use it just so that it'll follow and clear a creep. It just solves a lot of headaches with regards to what your opponent is able to, like, how do you push back creep without scanning? That's how you do it. I would have lifted at the very least. I would have sent this into the corner. so that way you can come back. You definitely have the bigger army, definitely have the bigger supply. Your opponent is bases behind where they should be. Ooh. Liberator. Oh, that ghost needs to snipe. There it is. Also, the Liberators just sieging up would have been really good too. This is this Terran feels a lot better than a diamond, like low diamond. I'm not. I mean, it's an unranked game. I don't know what their actual rank is. I'm not going to look it up. I'm not worried about it too much. But like the number of ghosts, the siege on siege timings, the responsiveness with stuff. This Terran just feels really good. I couldn't tell you their exact MMR, but they just feel better than low diamond. So don't feel bad, Mr. Zerg, who is learning. You look like a Protoss player, or you play a lot like a Protoss player. I get that. I understand how that can be difficult or annoying. Like, they're sniping, and they're doing a good job of having Widow Mines hidden behind stuff. They have their army. They're splitting. This is not a diamond player, or it does not look like a diamond player, I should say. Oh god, that's so rough to deal with. That's so many lurkers, though. But there's so many ghosts. Oh goodness. It's gonna be so painful. Extra bases are right. Get rid of that lib. Nice. This is a situation where it's really tough. Because they just have all this army behind it. They've had so much more income. Ooh, EMP on all those queens that had so much energy. They could have just transfused this, so it's just sitting a little bit further back. Those lurkers are going to go down, I think. Every queen is going to go down that runs up. This is when banlings are good, lings are good. That is so many ghosts, though. Like, just being able to fight that is going to be really difficult. Another scan needs to come down. I don't know what the Terran number of scans are right now, but that's there it is. It has multiple available. Just look at that. Oh god, there's so many ghosts. Those lurkers are just getting shot out. If I was this Zerg, me personally, as soon as I saw that many ghosts and them actually using them very effectively, I would have been, I'm out. I'm done. I can't deal with this. So, but I am right around the same MMR in my Zerg, so I just know that my Zerg is not good enough to do that. Lurker play has been really good. I really like that. But this game is coming close to its conclusion. So, but oh my god, there's so many command centers, so much production. 200 income or 200 supply, no lurkers versus basically giant ghost army. Oh my goodness, yuck. Okay, so we're gonna jump back here. We're gonna talk good, bad, ugly, fun, cool things. My best guess is that this Zerg is a Protoss main or moving from a Protoss to Zerg. The reason that I say that, this is not how you handle that. That's why you have your 4 Zerglings at home, and that's why you have a queen immediately. So the things that I noticed, injects weren't great. Need to make sure you're doing that. You're not creep spreading very great, right? Like, this queen should be like over here, like just right here with spreading the creep, killing that. Like, you know he's there. These 4 lings need to be at home to help support the queens. So that way you can start your creep spread, make sure that you protect your drones, all that good stuff. That being said, you didn't lose a whole lot, only 2. And you did really annoying things, like you put down the extractor to block that, you made the command center off location. So you actually made it so that your opponent struggled in a couple of ways, which is great. That's like exactly what you want to have happen. Made sure that their wall had to go up so that the SUV was just out of location, stuff like that. We're missing injects, right? We're missing our third base. At this point, you need a third base. Terran has 2, you need 3. Okay. Let's talk specifically for the Zerg. Things to improve. Whatever the base count is of your opponent, you need to be 1 above them. At the very least, producing it. The reason being is Terrans have mules. Zerg does not have mules, so you cannot rely on that. The other thing that you also have to be aware of is, for Protoss, they have Chrono. You don't have Chrono. You also have your production built out of your hatcheries. So you need to take your queens and inject as often as you can. You need to build enough queens so you can spread creep between your bases and get a better vision of what your opponent's doing earlier on, so that you have the ability to respond and have your units in the right place, because all of your units move faster on creep. So creep spread is super duper important. Having extra queens and having injects done on all your bases is super important. Making sure that your base above is super important. What they're doing here, this is like a GM level play. I've done this once or twice, just once or twice. And this was me being cheeky because I knew I was going to, the player I was playing against was much better than me. And I was like, haha, I'm going to do something that's annoying. You kill the active creep tumor. What you do is you put your Reaper or your Hellion. You can see the Hellion has 90 health. The Reaper only has 60 health. Which, versus the Flamethrower, you could put it on top of or right next to it, have your units attack the own unit, and it'll kill the creep tumor. Creep tumors only have 50 health, so you have to be able to attack with, I think it's 3 or 4. I can't remember the 3 times 15. It's 4. Okay, you have to have 4 to kill a creep tumor with one shot. So you could just kill the creep tumor, which reduces creep spread, which means that you're stuck in your base. You don't know when your opponent's doing, stuff like that. Sorry. Back to talking about this Zerg. You need to be up a base. The other bit is that you need to continue. Basically, you need a ton of queens. I think something like 9 queens is the number that you need until you are maxing out. At which point, no big deal, right? If you lose them, you lose them. But you need to be able to make sure that all your bases are injected, make sure you're creep spreading, and make sure you're able to deflect any kind of pressure that you're receiving. Great pullback. You need to have a plan. If you're going to go Zerglings, you need to go speed way earlier. You're going to go Roaches, only build 4 Lings, skip speed altogether, and get that Roach Horn down as fast as you can. I suggest against everybody, unless you're doing a 2-base all-in or something along those lines, to not skip speed. There are very specific builds where you do skip speed, right? But in this instance, I wouldn't skip speed. Make sure... pullback. That pullback, no. Liberator's gonna need 4 or 5 kills. So right now, the Zerg is being restricted very heavily, so you have no ability to spend your money, or gain a lot more money. Well, imagine if you had a queen here. Imagine you had another queen coming out of here. Another queen out of here. These coming down and helping. Spore getting there. Right? This is fully saturated. This isn't oversaturated. These are things that you need to kind of look at, and I understand that you're like, this guy, I'm changing races, and it's really hard, and like, I get it, right? I promise. It's not fun. And this guy, I'm fairly certain, is not supposed to be at this level. Look at his production. Look at how much he's spending his money. Look at how he's got all of his units in the right place. He's doing really annoying things. He's slowing your income. He's doing cheeky things where he can kill creep tumors, so on and so forth, right? Like, there's a lot of things that suggest to me that either their MMR is suppressed, or this is them being like ranked incorrectly, etc. So don't feel bad about what's going on. Zerg speed is amazing. It's how you catch Hellions and Reapers. That's why you want to get it super early, like immediately. If you don't do that, that's fine. It's okay not to. But like, just be aware, the reasons that you want it is because Zerglings, they can get up on a bunch of Marines and stuff. Also run away. At this point, run. You don't need to fight this. This is a bad fight. Keep those Lings alive. This is funny. This Spine Crawler gets 7 kills. That's a very cheeky Spine Crawler. You made it well worth the money, investment, etc. Like, awesome. Good job injecting. Come on. Inject. You gotta get really fast at it. The pros, they go boom, 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 boom. It's that fast. It is so fast. When you watch a Cero first-person shooter, first-person of his view, he's going to inject so fast that you barely realize that he injected. He's literally going to bounce between all his bases. There are ways to do that. There's 2 methods. Method 1 is hotkey method. Basically, you have all of your hatcheries on one hotkey, and all of your queens on another. Or sorry, all your queens on one, and then you hit space, inject, space, inject, space, inject, space, inject, space, inject, space, inject, and click. And you have it so that you just flick through it. The other is a camera hotkey. You set all your camera hotkeys: F1, F2, F3, F4, and you have the queen. You have your queen selected. So you go queens number 4, inject, hammer hockey, grab, inject, right? That's the other method. There are pros that do it at both methods. So it's just something to learn about Zerg if you don't know it yet. I'm bad at it. But it's just something to like be cognizant of. I just want you to be aware that like there are ways to increase your speed on how you do your injects. Idle workers, all that kind of stuff. Nice job on getting over, so you're making sure you don't have any of the fun stuff. Defenses are good, yada yada yada. Your opponent is doing really annoying things. He's hitting you at two fronts at the same time. He's burrowing things. He's just like he's just being difficult. Like these are things that you don't see in Diamond 3 at the low end. This is like almost Plat 1 is the MMR, just so you guys are aware. This guy is playing much above what I would think is in that level. Like, he's doing drops with his medevacs as he's flying. That's not something you see at that level of play. It's just not. I've played at that level for far too long, right? Like, this is like a 3400 skill at minimum. And then he's doing it with multiple drops, right? He's got 2 drops going on. Like, and he's got this big army. Regardless. Other things to note. Nice pullbacks. Good job on that. Oversaturation needs to be fixed. Make sure you fix those problems. Make sure you have enough queens. Make sure you have enough lings. Make sure you have enough. Everything is like, your production is just not there right now. You have the money, you just don't have the production. Your unit, you have 15 larvae. Like, you're under pressure. Take a breath for a second. It's okay. It's okay. What is my opponent doing? How can I fix what's going on? Oh, I need more XYZ. Oh, I need to check all these things. Okay. This was an awesome catch, by the way. I really, really, really like this catch. And 1 ling in, nice, so awesome. And obviously your opponent immediately unburrows and gets both of them back, or tries to get both of them back. On the Terran side, they're up base. They have full saturation, if not oversaturation. You need to kill this a little bit earlier. I know you're giving full information. Fine, whatever. You don't care. Your upgrades are a little lacking, for sure. Like, this is a 3-3 timing. Is 11 minutes, if I remember correctly. Might be off by a little bit. And you're still on 1-1. That being said, you've been doing a ton of harass. You've been on top of your opponent. You've been really doing a lot of damage to them throughout this whole game. So I can't fault you on not having, like, against what you're playing against. I wouldn't freak out too much. Like, there's nothing here that I'm like, this player is doing poorly, right? Like, you've been annoying in all of the right ways. You've been in the right position for everything. You have enough production. You have enough income. You're very on top of keeping things busy. You're not getting supply capped. You're being annoying to your opponent. I would not sit on creep. Just period, right? But yeah, this game was. There's some very interesting and cool things that went on, but and both players had good things and bad things. I mean, specifically that extractor right there. But good games overall, and best of luck to both of you, and we'll see you around next time.